Where a lot of people are criticizing Jim Bob Cooter for the Lions' offensive woes, Matt Patricia praises him for the job he's been doing. And after firing the special teams coach, people was hoping that Jim Bob Cooter would follow. But Matt Patricia loves the job Jim Bob Cooter's done with the Lions offense so far. We back. More C Sports Talk. We in the building. And either, I'm going to tell you this, either, Patricia's lying, or he's just another incompetent Detroit Lions coach, or he's praising Jim Bob Cooter for working with what he has, and it's kind of a shot at Matthew Stafford. Like I said before, people forget Joe Lombardi said Matthew Stafford wasn't the smartest dude around. He had to dumb the offense down for him. And after that, Jim Caldwell stepped in and said that was crazy. That was crazy talk. And he did what he's supposed to do as a coach. And maybe Matthew Stafford is, kind of getting a shot sublimity here. Maybe he was holding Scott Linehan back. Maybe he was holding Joe Lombardi back. Maybe he was holding Jim Bob Cooter back. And maybe now Matt Patricia knows that he has a problem at quarterback. Because ain't nothing that Jim Bob Cooter done this season consistently from week to week and putting 2 or 3 weeks together has been great. They had some really good games running the ball, and when they ran the ball with balance and when the run pass had balance, the Lions usually won or was competitive in games. His creativity in his offense, maybe it's dumbed down by Matthew Stafford. Today, Rich Gannon took a shot at Matthew Stafford and said that he's overpaid. I seen some film that some brothers broke down and showed that Stafford was missing, check downs and missing open receivers. Okay? So maybe Jim Bob Cooter is a good offensive coordinator, and maybe he has to dumb down his offense like Joe Lombardi said for Matthew Stafford. But nothing he's done this year has been great. I see improvement. But, no matter who your quarterback is, I know teams that had quarterbacks with Trent Dilfer, had quarterbacks with Quincy Carter, had quarterbacks with, had teams with quarterbacks with far less talent than Matthew Stafford, Blake Bortles. Those organizations knew how to run the ball. They didn't need an offensive run game coordinator. They didn't need Matt Patricia in the offensive meeting showing them how they should run the ball. That's my problem with Jim Bob Cooter. He don't know how to run the ball. He doesn't know how to utilize tight ends. That's not Matthew Stafford's fault. How to run power football, how to run stretch zone plays. That's why I wanted Gary Kubiak to come be the head coach. Because I knew one thing that Gary Kubiak would do, he would simplify the game for Matthew Stafford. They would bring that zone read running game and a lot of bootlegs and let him get out and minimize the options and really help him simplify the offense. That was one of my picks. Gary Kubiak would have been a great coach for the Detroit Lions to come here with as far as the offensive side of the ball and dumbing things down. North Turner would have been another great guy. Because my problem with Jim Bob Cooter, he can't even run the ball. Period. He can't run the ball. And still don't know how to run the ball. People continue to blame the offensive lineman. I see the Cincinnati Bengals last year. They had one of the worst offensive lines with the Lions last year. They still ran the ball with some type of success. They still was able to get 3rd and short, 4th and short. They still was able to figure out with Hill, Mixon, and Giovanni Bernard how to run the ball. How to have some type of success. The Lions couldn't even run the ball. They didn't even have a 100-yard rusher for a long time. With a quarterback that can throw it all over the field, right? That you knew they was going to pass. They couldn't run for 100 yards, period, with any individual running back with 7-man boxes. I mean, these guys would have 4 on the line, 3 linebackers, or 4 linebackers, 3 linemen, whatever you want to say. 3-4, 4-3. And these guys still couldn't run for 100 yards. Still couldn't average good running game. Couldn't put a running scheme together. It's the same redundant offensive run plays. Nobody find his schematics shitty. And then he doesn't even know how to use the tight end. Luke Wilson was a major factor down the field for the Seattle Seahawks this year. He hasn't even used them to stretch the field not once. He on the same drag and shallow crossing route. The same out route. Look at Eric Ebron. On wheel routes, on fade routes, on post routes, on flag routes, on post corner routes, going down the field. They utilizing his athletic ability in Indianapolis. They're using his speed, his size down the field in Indianapolis. And he's catching the ball. Sometimes he drop it, but they keep coming back to him. In Detroit, it was the same thing. Drag route, shallow crossing route, out route, bootleg. He bootleg on a quarterback bootleg. He go to the flat route. It's the same thing. No creativity with the tight end. No creativity in the run game. He doesn't have an offense, and you can't blame that on Matthew Stafford. The lack of running the ball. They ain't got shit to do with Stafford. No schematics running the ball. It's the same running plays. No flamboyance, no creativity until the playoffs are out of reach or a game is out of reach. Can't utilize the tight end. Didn't utilize Golden Tate good enough, in my opinion. And you seen other players like Eric Ebron go other places and produce. He producing in Indianapolis. They utilizing his ability to stretch the field. He never stretched the field in Detroit for real. Never. Never they put Ebron and say go stretch it and do a post route. Never did they put Ebron on a post corner. And a post corner route is when you run down the field, fake to the corner route, then come back in and go to the post. Never. Never did they utilize him down the field, running straight down, running a fly right down the field from the tight end on the slot position and hitting that little spot in coverage between the linebacker. Between the safety and the corner in the slot. Never did they utilize his athletic ability, his talents, and they not doing it with Luke Wilson. This dude ain't doing no great job. Matt Patricia is a dummy, man. It's another dummy in the Lions organization. For him come out here and say he doing a great job, say, oh yeah, he doing a good job, he could do better. We all trying to improve. After Sunday, you gonna use great and Jim Bob Cooter in the same sentence? And you just said that we got the personnel, we just don't have the execution. Well, y'all, you indicting yourself. And I said this yesterday, he's indicting himself. These Lions ain't got no coaching, man. Let me say that right now. Lions ain't got no coaching. Lions ain't got no management. They need to sell this team, man. The Fords. You need to bring somebody in here that been there, done that, and did it. They need to bring somebody in here with a proven offensive system. It was better off trying to hire Josh McDaniels. Somebody with a system. They don't have a system. Jim Bob Cooter don't have a system. Joe Lombardi tried to bring a system. Stafford wasn't smart enough to cut it. That's what he said. Now, my words, not stretching the truth, that's exactly what he said on his way out. And Stafford fucked that man's career up. And he probably never get a job. He got to stay with the Saints now. Because the quarterback wasn't smart enough. But Mercy Sports Talk. I know a lot of people going to get mad. It is what it is. Don't forget we on Facebook, Twitter, and also links in the description to the email. Shout out to everybody as well. Y'all know what the business is. What up, though, Detroit? Mercy Sports Talk. Signing off, your boy CJ Goodfellow. We got